Hey there everyone, welcome to the Ukuleles channel. Today is a special day on the channel here. I'm comparing two of the best ukuleles on the planet, and for sure two of the best non-wood ukuleles on the planet. So what I have here is the Klōs Concert ukulele that I've recently reviewed on this channel. And then I also have my Blackbird Clara. And just for the record, this is an older Blackbird Clara that came with geared tuners. Today they would come with UPTs, ukulele planetary tuners. So that would be a step up. But we're going to be comparing these two instruments. And first of all, let's just talk about them in general. I actually had to take some notes here. Both have a 35 millimeter nut. The Blackbird is just actually a little bit under 34.92 millimeters. The Klōs is at 35.03, so they're both 35 millimeter nut. The string spacing at the first fret is 29 on the Blackbird and 29.16 on the Klōs. So that's almost identical. The action at the first fret on the Klōs is very low. It's 0.19 millimeters and it's 0.24 on the Blackbird. So a little bit lower action on the Klōs. And then at the 12th fret, the Blackbird's action is 1.39 millimeters, which is really low, and in fact, actually, sometimes can impede my playing because it is almost too low. And the Klōs's is at 2.30 millimeters. Now, the Blackbird came to me used. I purchased it used, and the Klōs was sent to me by Klōs for review purposes. So I don't know if the previous owner customized it or if that is the action that came with it from the factory. Not sure, but that's what I have to compare it with. The Blackbird is lighter at 1 pound 3.9 ounces, but it has no pickup. The Klōs, this particular model, has the Klōs pickup attached to it and weighs 1 pound 10.4 ounces. So the Blackbird Clara is a little lighter, but mainly because of electronics. The big difference between the two of these is the Blackbird has I think, a better neck profile. It's thinner. It's not, they're about the same width, but it's thinner. So it's less rounded than the Klōs. So the Blackbird's depth at the third fret, so you go from top of the strings to the bottom of the neck, is 20.22 millimeters, whereas the Klōs is 21.63 millimeters at the third fret. So go top of the strings to the back. And where that makes it more significant, remember, is that the Klōs also has lower action at the first fret, so there's even less space between the string and the back of the neck. So, in other words, the Blackbird from the strings to the back of the neck is significantly smaller in feel and a little more comfortable to play, quite honestly. In terms of cost, the Klōs, as tested, is right around $1,400, $1,389 with the pickup, $1,248 standard. If you check every option on the KlōsGuitars.com website, the most expensive one is $1,679 with every possible option. The Blackbird Clara now starts at $1,795 with its base model, and if you put all options in, it goes up to $2,975. So $1,248 basic, $1,795 basic. That starts off at a difference of $500, and all in $1,679 to $2,975, which becomes a $1,300 difference between the two. So as you compare them, one of the things you have to ask yourself is the Blackbird Clara $500 to $1,300 better than the Klōs? That's one of the questions that you will need to ask if you're interested in both. The accessories you get with the Klōs are strap buttons. You do get the fret markers on the front and side position markers, and you get a gig bag, and you can add to that. The accessories with the Blackbird Clara are a Gator 4G case and one strap button on the bottom of the instrument. There are a ton of options, fewer for the Klōs. The Klōs offers a carbon timber model now that has a different pattern for the carbon fiber. You can order it with a side sound port. You can order it with engraving. You can order it with a pickup like this one has. And you can get a rain cover and a strap for it. The Blackbird Clara has a ton of options. You can get a Misi pickup, front fret markers, which you'll notice this one doesn't have, a radius fretboard, which this one does not have, a different case, white button UPTs instead of black button UPTs, because a new Blackbird Clara would also have the Ukulele planetary tuners from Goto. You can get a glossy finish, you can get a satin finish, you can get an inlay on the fretboard, you can get a second strap button, and they'll also set it up for lefties as well. So the Blackbird Clara does have a ton more options, but you also pay for every one of those options. As for strings, I do know that the Klōs comes with the Dario Clear Fluorocarbon. These, I believe, are Martin M600s that I'm just running here. I'm not sure what the Blackbird ships with. Furthermore, the tuners on the Klōs composite tuners, they work really nicely. In my review, my only one negative is that I wish they were black buttons. On the Blackbird, you would get UPTs now, Goto UPTs. You would not get these, and these are not even branded, which is interesting. So they don't even say Grover or something. Not Grover geared tuners. Not sure which ones they came with. They work fine for what they do. And if you want to order one and they don't have it in stock, the Klōs is 2 weeks, but if you want that new carbon timber package, it's 8 weeks, so 2 months. Blackbird, it's a 6-month wait to get one of these. However, do be aware that Blackbird had a fire at their factory. If it wasn't this summer, it was the previous summer, and that really also impacted their situation. Now, let me play just a couple of things on each of these back to back, and then I'm going to go category by category like I do the subjective reviews and either name a winner or a tie in those categories. So let's start with the Klōs, and I'll switch it up, and I'm going to do my normal Snowden Symphony, which was written by Mark Pugh, who runs Stones Music in the UK. Alright, that stopped ringing. Now the Blackbird, same song. Alright, back to the Klōs again. A little bit of Für Elise. On to the Clara. Now I'm going to switch around. I'll start with the Clara first, and I will play one of the songs that is played by Alex Beds as one of his sort of test songs. I'm not sure if it has a name or not. And now my little uke stuff demo song. All right, now let's go through all the subjective factors, instrument by instrument, and I'll just give you my thoughts. First of all, cost. Well, the winner between cost would be the Klōs at basically $1,300 to get into it, whereas the Blackbird is $1,800 to get into it. In terms of value, that again goes to the Klōs. Both include a gig bag as standards, but you're getting more for your money with the Klōs at the value point. All the way up with every possible option as you add options. Now, again, the Blackbird has some things that the Klōs does not, such as Goto UPTs, such as the Misi pickup. But other than that, for instrument to instrument, the Klōs is a better value. Build quality is equal on both. You're dealing with, in this case, a fabric, this case, carbon fiber, ECOA versus carbon fiber. And what's interesting is Blackbird used to build ukuleles out of carbon fiber, but moved to ECOA, believing that it's a better substance to build with in the long term. And of course, they do have a lot of options with that. But the build quality is going to be equal, I believe, on both of these. In terms of appearance, I'm going to give the nod, basically, at least to the Klōs. Perhaps the Sunburst Clara would get a rating as being more attractive, possibly, but this carbon fiber is pretty cool, and the new carbon timber is also pretty cool as well, and I'm going to give the appearance nod to the Klōs. In terms of availability and build time, the Klōs takes that as well. In terms of playability, I'm going to call it pretty equal. I do like the neck better on the Blackbird, but the action is lower, which does impact my ability when picking a little bit. And the Klōs, again, just does have that thicker neck. So at the same time, the double bout is a little bit easier to hold and hold against your body than the rounded shape of the Clara. The Clara can slip on you. It's not awful. I've heard people complain about that with other rounded back instruments. It's not terrible. I don't need a strip to hold it or anything, but the Klōs is a little bit easier to hold, even though it is a touch heavier than the Blackbird Clara, and I don't have the Misi in there to compare it with the other one. But nonetheless, I would give both of them an equal rating for playability. If the Klōs would make a little bit thinner neck, it might take it in that category. In terms of sound quality, ultimately, I think it's going to be up to what your ear likes. If you are a person that likes the sound of koa, or likes the sound of mahogany or cedar, I think the Klōs may appeal to you. When I play it separately, the Klōs seems balanced. It still has a warm sound. It's very nicely rounded. And that's the sense that I get, warmer and balanced. When I play the Blackbird, I get a little more power and a brighter sound. It is still a very, very good sound. And some people would prefer that better. I'd say people that like spruce instruments would probably prefer that. Blackbird is clearer on its notes and it is louder. So ultimately, it's hard. It's hard. I think the Blackbird takes the sound category slightly, but here's the question. If you like a warmer, well-rounded sound, I think the Klōs is better for you. And the other question you have to ask is, with the Blackbird, is the sound in its basic configuration $500 better than the Klōs? And I'm not sure that it is. And in its top end configuration, is the Blackbird $1,300 better than the Klōs? And I don't think it is. So the sound quality, Blackbird might get the nod there, depending on your taste preferences, but not necessarily in terms of value for that sound quality. So, long story made short, if I need a high-end, climate-resistant ukulele with excellent playability, I can choose either one of these. If money is no option, I might look at the Clara with the sunburst. That might be where I would go. Otherwise, I would find happiness in this. As I've been thinking about the big question of if you could only have one ukulele. And for me, that was the Blackbird Clara. And in fact, the Blackbird Clara is the first instrument that I've ever considered trying to find another one used. And personally, I cannot afford to buy a new Blackbird Clara myself either at the price points that things are today. And I'm not saying they're not worth it. I'm not saying people shouldn't buy them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I love them. The Blackbird Clara was the first instrument I've ever owned that I thought I wouldn't mind having one of these in high G and low G and letting that be my only instrument. The Klōs is, no pun intended, close to that. If I could only have one ukulele, this might be it. And the carbon fiber does appeal to me. The appearance does appeal to me. Both of these are 5 out of 5s in my reviews, no question about it. If you have either one of these instruments and want to comment on it, please do so in the comments. I do hold comments just for review because people say negative things on the internet that don't need to be posted. But I approve pretty much everything that people write that is of value. So again, if you disagree with any of those points with me, feel free. Those are my thoughts. That's what this channel is about, right? Is my reviews of these ukulele things or my thoughts on these ukulele things with the intent of helping others. And again, both are companies in the United States, Utah and California, making instruments out of modern materials, wood materials that are going to last far longer than I'm going to be on this earth. These are instruments that my boys and their grandchildren and their grandchildren and their grandchildren could potentially play if any sort of care is given to either one of these. I can't say the same will be true of, for example, my KLOs that are made of wood, or the Opios that are made of wood. Don't know if they'll be around at that time, but these have a chance of making it because of the materials that they're built with. So I hope that's helpful for you or interesting to you. I've just, again, am just so pleased to be able to review these. So thankful to be able to pick up this one used for a very low cost during the COVID time, and then also to Klōs for allowing me to review their tenors as well as this concert, and I hope to review the baritone in the future as well. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some uke stuff for you.